Okay, this is quick. I'm trying to use my good camera. I want to start using my nice camera again. My name is Ken. It is Technique Thursday, and unfortunately my battery's at 22%, so I'm going to try to get through this quickly. Alright, so I know you want to learn some nunchucks. We're going to do some nunchucks. We're going to be doing a little bit more than that, actually. If you're not on the Facebook forum, there's probably some information that I think you should know about. So I want to tell you this, and then we're going to get into techniques. First off, I want to tell you that I'm going to start working on more than just nunchucks again. I know some of you guys were loving the staff, and that's great. I'm going to be bringing in a couple more props, hopefully in the near future. We're going to go back to the wheelchair series. Got a request for a one-arm spinning series as well, just being able to spin with one arm. And as well, I want to get in some kids' flow arts, which may be more than nunchucks, might be more veered towards the staff, or maybe even some sword work. So that's something to look forward to, as well as I think the next series of videos that we're going to be working on is Martial Arts Mondays. Now Martial Arts Mondays is going to be broken down into self-defense techniques, as well as martial arts, flow, sports, artistic pursuits, okay? So the self-defense techniques is going to be just the down and dirty, get the job done. I want to learn how to defend myself and protect myself. And then the other side is going to be the artistic, things you can use with flow arts, things you can use with your nunchucks, as well as if you're just playing around with sparring with friends, things like that. You won't be throwing dirt in people's eyes with one you will. So we'll be covering that very shortly too, because a lot of the nunchucks that I do has a basis in martial arts. I've just kind of flowered it out a little bit and given it a little bit more of a flair. But I think it's good to learn both of them. Give me 1 second here. I just want to make sure we capture everything here. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, go to flowtricks.com. There should be a subscribe button. I'm going to start a newsletter, okay? So people that get the newsletter, you're probably going to be receiving information and discounts that I don't have anywhere else. It's going to be starting, as well as a new website. The new website is going to be awesome because it's going to be so much more simpler. That last website was just like idea, 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 and it just like got this huge heaping mound of ideas, but none of them were really coordinating itself very well. So if you're frustrated with the website, working on creating a much more simpler, brand new website. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be very simple. So that's good. Couple more things I want to say, and I'm trying to zip through this because my battery only has 20%. So I want to get into techniques, but you guys really got to know this stuff. This is exciting. I'm going to be starting a belt system soon, a Flowtricks belt system. It's going to be the official curriculum for either becoming a Flowtricks performer or a Flowtricks instructor. I'll have more on that soon. Basically, essentially, we're going to go through a series of challenges every couple months. We're going to have belt testing, and then by the end of it, if you graduate to the black belt performer, for instance, we'll keep you in a roster and look for gigs in your area. I'll be putting it together. It depends on the hubs and the demand, of course, but I'm looking to create little Flowtricks hubs around the United States to start. Way later down the line, maybe even internationally, but to start with, we're looking to create little hubs here and there so we can keep spreading the love. Now, just because you get a black belt in Flowtricks doesn't mean you should ever stop learning or evolving. It's highly encouraged that you keep taking your style and going places with it. It just shows that you have a good solid foundation of at least what's presented here in the videos and as well as the testing. Now, this is not going to be easy by any means, but I think you guys like a challenge. So if you are interested in that, that's probably going to be coming more in the fall, the belt system, and I'll have more information as that comes up. I keep running over here because I have a list of things I want to make sure I don't forget. Also, with that said, there's also something called Flowtricks Entertainment. This is probably going to be happening more next year. But yeah, basically we're trying to create a hub of performers. I'll be looking to expand with gigs and workshops around the United States again, be looking for more gigs for all y'all. And if you're qualified, if you're ready, then hopefully I'll be able to match you up with some of these gigs. With that said, there's only one more thing I want to talk about right now because I'm trying to zip through this so I can teach you some techniques. And that is, there's weekly challenges that you definitely should be taking part of. Right now it's on the Facebook group. I'm going to try to move it over to the Flowtricks website when the new website is up. But definitely I will put the link in the description. If you need a good challenge, there's one that's happening every week. Down the line, we're actually looking at little prizes that we're going to start giving out, which I won't say yet, but they're going to be pretty cool. So it's just more incentive for you to train and to be more awesome and to inspire others and to bring them into our system. So with that said, I think I'm pretty much done for now. If you have any questions, definitely holler back. Before we begin, I also want to thank Ninja Pirate for sponsoring this video and the next series of videos. I am using their nunchucks right now. I haven't even busted these open yet. These are one of my favorite nunchucks. They're fire chucks, but that doesn't mean that you have to light them on fire. They have a great balance because they have weighted ends, so there's a lot of momentum that can be put into these chucks. Ninja Pirate fire chucks, check them out. Today's beginner move is just a nice little flourish when you're in the middle of doing your rips and your clutches or whatever, and you just want to kind of end a combo nicely. What you're going to do is you're going to hold it. I'm going to do it with my right hand, but of course you can do it with your right or left. You're going to slide your hand down as far down in the grip as you possibly can. Now this will not work with every type of chuck, and if you're using a heavy chuck, use discretion to first start with. But essentially we're going to spin it to the outside. So if it's my right hand, it's going clockwise. If it's in my left, it's going counterclockwise. We're going to be spinning it to the outside, and we're going to move it to the opposite leg. So in my right hand, it's spinning clockwise. It's going to go under my left leg like so. What we're going to do is I'm going to actually bend forward to where I'm looking at my knee. Okay, I'm going to be making sure I'm facing down at my knee. And we're actually going to try to touch the side of our neck with this tip of the chuck. And here's what it's going to look like. Ta-da! Bam! Just like that. So, it may look a little funny, but it comes straight up to the neck. This doesn't work with every single type of chuck, but in most cases, if you just try it, it usually just works. And keep in mind, I'm using a fairly heavy chuck right now. This is a fire chuck, so doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt. Give it a shot. If you have oaks, though, just gotta be careful. You can't go lightly on this one because otherwise it'll just not make it. So you have to kind of just follow through, make a circle, and let it rest. Hold it up. Okay, the next move, this is going to be slightly in between intermediate and advanced. It's going to be a mix between a sun wave and an upward stall. So what we're going to do is first we're going to have to work the upward stall. The upward stall, I guess, would be kind of in medium territory anyway. So let's work medium, upward stall, and then we'll do the one-handed, one-fingered moon wave on top of it. So an upward stall essentially is creating an arc. We're swinging the nunchuck down in an arc to get it to stop motion, basically. We want to create a point where it stops. Now, it's a lot easier to get it to stop when you're stalling downward because gravity is pulling downward. This has nowhere to fall. Whereas if we're going upward, you only have a second before it stops motion. We're going to actually do upward stalls, which is the harder one, simply because the next technique comes from it. But if you want to think of it like this, you're creating a U pattern with your hand. Your hand creates a U pattern, and your thumb is always leading. So, for instance, when I grab this nunchuck, my thumb is leading up, it slashes down, so my thumb's pointing down, and right before I stop, my thumb's back up. It's going to create a U pattern, except for it's very elongated. So it's not just like a lip. Once I reach the top of the curve, it's still going upwards, almost like, hey, like a hitchhiker, you know, hey. You want to do this because without that straight upward motion, if we just stopped it kind of sideways, it's gonna stall kind of sideways. But as we keep pushing it up, it's gonna straighten itself up. This is the end point. This is where we want it to end. Okay. This is not an easy move to start with. Just trying to figure out how you can keep it nice and straight. But if you look at it, my thumb is pointing up almost every time. When it's going the other way, it's going up. So without the nunchuck, it's up and it's up. Notice my elbow is fairly locked out. If you also want to think about almost like snapping a towel, it's not necessarily that fierce, but there is like this motion where you're very loose, but it snaps down in a V right here to the other side. So as soon as you hit the middle section, it has a slight snapping motion. I'm going to over accentuate it. Boom. It's a lot easier with poi, but you can definitely get away with this with nunchucks as well. Now, what I want you to practice is just the ability to be able to go back and forth with this. If you're not certain how to do it, remember thumb points up and you're kind of giving like a little whipping motion right at the base of the U as it curves up. Once you get this down, what I want you to practice is to be able to, if it's my right hand, my right leg is going to follow it. So, for instance, It's on the right side, it's on the left side, it's on the right side, it's on the left side. As soon as it goes over to the left side, my right foot's gonna follow it. So, right foot steps, this direction, okay? Once it goes here, hopefully you can see me, it's gonna slash down at my legs. Look, it's going backwards, and my right foot is gonna take a step this direction. This will allow me to actually step with the nunchuck and rotate with it while doing stalls. So the first thing I want you to work on is just getting the stall. And the second thing I want you to work on is when it goes over, when you cross your body, so on the left it'd be on the right side, on the right it'd be on the left side, take a step with the same foot. So right here, my right foot steps forward with it, and then I'm going to slash down and my right foot takes a step forward with it. So my right hand and my right leg are both moving with the motion of the nunchuck. This will allow you to turn. Here, here, here. So we've got movement with the nunchucks too. That's kind of like an added bonus with the up stall. The last part that I want to show you is a variation with the Sunwave. And hold on, let me check the battery life. We have 4% left, so I gotta make this fast. Now the Sunwave, if you remember right, is where both your pointer fingers are down in the bottom of the chain, and if you don't space it out, they're gonna crash, right? So you have them slightly offset. Look up Sunwave and Moonwaves if you're not sure. They have to be offset though, otherwise they'll crash into each other if they're both in a straight line. You're gonna stall it, but your hand is gonna be slightly off. Like you're gonna stall it slightly at an angle. It's not gonna be straight up and down. It's gonna be slightly at an angle. So, what happens when you're at a slight angle is you're gonna allow it to cross over. Now your pointer finger is gonna try to grip as high as it can on the chain, and it's gonna pull backwards. And here's what'll happen. Here, there. So one-handed Sunwave from an upstall. So it's coming this direction, right here, and as long as this is slightly offset, as soon as this pulls on the top of the chain, they're both gonna move in opposite direction. The reason why you say the top of the chain, of course, is because needs space in order to fall into your hand. Now if you did it at the bottom of the chain, what'll happen is this will cross over. A lot of time you'll just get a handful of chain. So try to reach as high as you can, try to get as high as you can on the chain before you grab it. And I was like in a rush now, but that's essentially it. Here, pull, grab. It's not an easy move, but again, that's an advanced move for you. I know I didn't do techniques this time and I didn't capture anything that anyone asked. Be sure to ask some more though. Post on my YouTube or the Facebook account what you'd like to see for next Technique Thursday. I just want to give you guys new challenges, as always. And wow, my battery light is flashing. This is perfect timing. Peace.